Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Wanted to make a quick video this morning. We're talking about a coaching search. We're talking about several options that Josh Heupel's interviewed to replace Jerry Mack, who we all know is off to the NFL. Felt like it was going to be done by the end of the week. Guess what, boys? It's done by the end of the day. Tennessee and Josh Heupel, they have their man, Darrell Sims, running back coach from Cincinnati. This morning we mentioned a couple of options, some guys that we had, confirmed that interviewed for the job. Anthony Jones Jr. at TCU, Carlos Lachlan, running backs coach at Oregon, and then a couple of other names that were out there. Jimmy Smith, running back coach at Arkansas, and then Darrell Sims. Those were names that were also in the mix. VolQuest had confirmed that it really felt like a three-man race at that point between Anthony Jones Jr., Carlos Lachlan, and also Darrell Sims. They settled. Did they settle? Did Tennessee settle on Darrell Sims, or do you feel like they got their man? You look at his bio, you look at his profile. One of the things that I mentioned this morning that also stands out to me is, he had running back rooms that finished inside the top 25 in rushing yards per game the last 3 seasons. In 2023 at Cincinnati, his running back room ran for 217 yards per game. That was good for 5th in the country. And I think Tennessee has a pretty solid group of running backs that are waiting on Darrell Sims to show up. You look at his history, where he's been. We talked about recruiting. We talked about ties to the Southeast. Kind of seemed to be a theme at what Josh Heupel was looking for. And Anthony Jones Jr., Carlos Lachlan were West Tennessee guys, had a lot of ties in state. Darrell Sims has also had a little bit of ties in state. He was the running backs coach and also video coordinator at Carson Newman in 2012. He spent 3 seasons at Western Carolina from 2013 to 2015, where he was the running backs coach, also the director of player development. He spent 3 years at James Madison, spent some time at ECU and then Louisville, and then ultimately ended up at Cincinnati. He's a South Carolina native. So he's got a lot of ties, got that little bit of time he spent down there at Carson Newman, but he got a lot of ties and connections throughout the Carolinas. Was that strategic? Was that something Josh Heupel was looking at, or did Darrell Sims just come in and sell himself? One of my favorite things to do is go watch old interviews or go watch Mic'd Up. If you can find a Darrell Sims Mic'd Up video, that will give you a gauge for the type of energy he brings. Now, is that the end-all be-all? No, it's not, but it gives you an idea. And I found an interview from Darrell Sims with CBS Sports. We're going to take a look at that here in just a second, but as always, I need you guys to do me a favor and smash the thumbs up just below this video. It is quick, it's free, it's easy, it helps the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts, we're not insiders, we're not media. We don't talk at you here, we're talking with you. This channel is for the fans, by the fans. If you like what we do, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Going to be live tomorrow night, just like I am every Tuesday night. 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to play some NCAA football, but we're also going to talk all things Tennessee football. We will interact live and discuss this coaching hire and see what you guys think. But let's take a listen. And again, this was an interview with CBS Sports. This was right after he got hired at Cincinnati. They were questioning his philosophy, what he'd like to see out of his running back room. And I like what I heard, so let's take a listen to what Darrell Sims had to say.
Coach Michael again. I'll
Yes,
jump in. Talk about, I guess, a little bit about your philosophy when you're working with the running backs in practice. How do you conduct things when you're out on the practice field, and how do you build expectations with your group?
It's all gas, no brakes. From the time we hit the building, we got to be locked in and we got to be loaded and ready to go. The number one deal is our brand in terms of how we operate in the running back room is we want to be the hardest working, most competitive family in the country. No matter what we do, we always want to make sure we do a good job of staying together and staying locked in as one. When you step between those white lines and when you step in the meeting room, yes, you're competing against each other, but you're also helping each other as well. And that's the number one deal that we want to be. For me as a coach, in terms of how I am on the practice field, I'm always going to be high energy and I'm going to be positive, but I'm going to be demanding as well. It's only one way to get things done, and that's the right way. So we always got to make sure that we're doing a really, really good job of learning from our mistakes and not making the same mistake twice, but also making sure we're doing a good job of elevating ourselves as well and continue to get 1% better every day.
some of this may be coach speak. I don't know. But you just get a vibe when you listen to him talk, man. I like all gas, no brakes, full steam ahead, the energy, bring the energy, man. And then also he talks about holding these kids accountable. And I think this coaching staff, Josh Heupel's coaching staff, we talk about the culture, right? And the players in the rooms. And, you know, he talks about strengthening each other. And you're competing against each other, but you're also, you know, trying to build each other up, lift each other up. We've talked about, you know, the quarterback room over the last few years since Josh Heupel took over. How in the world do you take guys like Joe Milton and Hendon Hooker and turn them into best friends? And that was Joe Milton's job, and he lost it to Hendon Hooker, but he still stayed. He stuck it out, man. He stuck it out. He supported his brother, and then Nico comes in, and then Nico, as a true freshman, as an 18-year-old, Nico saying, I want to be to Joe what Joe was to Hendon. How do you create that? It all starts with your coaches, with your leadership. And man, I love what I hear from Darrell Sims. He looks young. He looks energetic. I think, you know, these kids like having those younger coaches on staff. Look at Coach Pope, man. Those kids love Coach Pope. They celebrated when Coach Pope got promoted from an analyst to that wide receiver coach. So I'm liking what I am hearing early. Let's hear more from new Tennessee running backs coach Darrell Sims.
Hey, Coach Jody Sumlin with Cardinal Authority. Hope all is well. Welcome to.
How you doing, Jody? Thank you.
Hey, when you're recruiting specifically running backs, what will you look for? What are the traits that you look for that you want? Because I think every coach may be a little different in kind of what they look at the most. What is your main thing?
You know, the number one deal in terms of going into it, looking at a running back, is you always want to get a guy that's mentally and physically tough. Because at this position, especially at this level, you're going to take some physical pounding. So you always got to have a guy that's mentally and physically tough. You want a guy that's a game changer, that has the opportunity to break a game open and bring the crowd to the feet. Those are the things that we look for. You know, size and speed attributes and traits like that. You know, those are all, you know, different things that can be worked out. A guy may be big, but he may not be as fast, or a guy may be small and then he can run and catch lightning when it strikes. So those are always things that we look for. But a mentally and physically tough young man that loves the game of football, you have to have a love to play this game at this level. And a guy that's what we need. And those are the things that we look for. And then physical traits, those will always be a dime a dozen, whether he's fast, whether he's physically strong and gifted. Those are things that we kind of change the direction.
Like what he had to say there, a game changer. He's looking for a game changer. I think we got some game changers in this running back room. I think we got some versatility. D. Samps, obviously, he's your speed guy, man. You talk about breaking a game open. You talk about lighting a fire in the fan base. That's something that D. Samp brings to the table. Physicality, I think Cam Seldon is your guy, but he brings that speed and physicality. So I think Darrell Sims is going to walk into Knoxville, and I think he's going to be pretty happy with his running back room. Be interested to see how he does recruiting. I said when we went into that video, I thought it was when he got hired at Cincinnati. It's actually while he was still at Louisville. Can he recruit at the elite level? Can he recruit in the SEC, right? We're talking about a guy that's been at James Madison, Western Carolina, ECU, Louisville, and now Cincinnati. Is he ready for the big stage? I think that's why maybe you had 1A, 1B, and Anthony Jones Jr. and Carlos Loughlin. They're at a pretty high level with Oregon and TCU. Darrell Sims, young up-and-comer. What do you think of the hire? You guys know the deal. I want to hear from you. Jump into the comment section. Let's break this thing down. Did Tennessee settle? Or did they get their guy? I like what I heard in the interview. Curious to see what you guys think. As always, do me a favor and smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. Debated whether or not I wanted to make this video because it's so late breaking news, but I wanted to get it out because I want to see what you guys think. We'll get into it. We'll discuss it. But that is going to do it for this one. Make sure you guys smash that thumbs up. Go check out the Talkin VAWLS merch, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. We appreciate any and all support. But this is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.